I want you to cry into your Hello Kitty pillow. I want you to put your headphones on. I want you to listen to some Taylor Swift. And I want you to shake it off, you bland bitch.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe. How do you like that new intro? Oh yeah, I gotta put some MJF on. The first intro was Hogan brother. Then the second intro, I believe, it went to Cody. Yes, went to Cody. And this one is going to MJF. One of my favorite promos that he cuts on Roderick Strong. I decided, I was like, you know what? I think it's time for a new intro into the show. And I originally was going to do like a musical route, for the intro. But I was like, I'm doing the music thing for the New World Podcast Archives, which are coming. It's just the holidays now are out of the way. Vacation, all that out of the way. It's time to get back on track, traveling and this and that and being sick and just, Now it's time, okay? We're talking about SmackDown, the Happy New Year edition, January 2nd, 2026. 3 hours back, baby, in Buffalo, New York. Cole and Graves on commentary just for this show. Then they're going to be going to Monday Night Raw. Then Wade and Joe will be coming to SmackDown. And next week, we will be in Berlin, Germany for SmackDown. And for Raw, we'll be in Brooklyn. Oh, yeah. Big weekend for the WWE. They got the Stranger Things thing going on for Monday Night Raw, whatever that's going to intake. Rumors, Chris Jericho's contract has officially ended with AEW. So is he going to come back Monday Night Raw? There's just a lot of things in. And do I want Chris Jericho back? Yes and no. I love Jericho. I think his final run in AEW sucked ass. Oh my God, I got tired of it. It just ran its course. When he came in with the Inner Circle, what is it? What was the group? Something Jericho, Legion of I don't know. I thought Inner Circle was cool. Then it went to something else. I don't know. But I'm just glad it's over. Because those were parts. Oh, then he did all the stuff with the learning tree. I'm the learning tree. with Big Bill and Brian Keith. I'm like, yeah, it's time to go. And if SmackDown's the way, let's see what they can do over here. But going back to 3 hours, it felt like it. It is more opportunity, more TV time and stuff like that for, up-and-coming stars. They definitely really drove that home here tonight with everything. We started off with, with Miz, and he says, I got some grievances to let out. I haven't complained. I had the worst year of my life. Blah, 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 blah. Then here comes, I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand. Randy Orton is back. I popped. I was like, yay, Randy. Miz was like, yeah, me and you, I'm the king of the locker room. John Cena's gone, blah, blah, blah. What about Miz KO? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, no. No! But that's okay. Randy handled business. Did an RKO not once, but twice, and it was nice. Bye, Miz. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Then we get a backstage segment with the Kabuki Warriors and Nia and Lash. A little tension there. Kabuki Warriors are the current tag team champions. Nia and Lash wants the championship opportunity. They got a big 8-women tag match here next. Kabuki Warriors says, you know what, we'll go to Monday Night Raw, we'll beat Rio, and after that, if you guys want some, come get some. You ain't ready for the Kabuki Warriors. Then we go backstage. Well, we're still backstage after commercial. Well, before we hit commercial, right? Well, Cody and Randy have a moment. And Randy tells Cody, you know what? I think it's my time to finally go after that points at that championship on Cody's shoulder. So Cody has a lot of people gunning for him, but he still has Drew McIntyre in the way, and he's going to take him out in Berlin. Or maybe not. Maybe so. We'll see where we go. But that got me like, ooh. Then Nick comes, and he's like, hey, see Drew? Because Cody's itching. He wants to beat the shit out of Drew. Yeah. But the rule is, this is the contract signing with Nick and Drew, is if Cody does put his hands on Mr. McIntyre, he loses that championship. So a lot's on the line for Cody, especially his mental health being pushed the way it's being pushed. Kabuki Warriors, Nia and Lash Legend versus Alexa, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I gotta say, this was awesome. This was a really fun match. A lot of action back and forth. There was a moment where Lash kicked Io in the face. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, she just kicked Io. Io folded up like a chair. I was just surprised by it. I was just like, oh my God. Like, Lash Legend, she's a beast, you know. And Alexa, Charlotte, and Rio get the win over the Kabuki Warriors and Nia and Lash. Yeah, it was fun. This was a really fun eight-woman tag team match. Then we go backstage with Nick, and once again, gracing the future with future superstars, Jordan Grace. Oh, yeah. Nick's like, I want you to come to SmackDown, and she's weighing her options, and you know what's going to happen. SmackDown's for the new superstars. That's what they've been trying to establish here in SmackDown. That's what they've been trying to do. That's why it's been kind of falling short and this and that. SmackDown's not the best show. Raw usually is, but SmackDown, I see what they're doing. SmackDown's going to be the flagship for these new superstars with some people along the way to help these superstars grow. You know, and Chelsea enters the room. Chelsea has a match tonight with Julia. I was like, for the United States Championship. She tries to get out of it. She's like, I just watched the Stranger Things finale. I'm mentally not there. And I was like, you're damn right, girl. Because that finale destroyed the shit out of me. I'm with Chelsea. God, but Nick is so mean. But Jordan Grace does tell Chelsea, like, you know what? People are making my options a little bit more clear now. And I was like, oh, Jordan Grace on SmackDown. Can't wait. Then we go to Mr. Kit Wilson. He's got some new music. I gotta say, I like it. You know, he's, I don't understand his whole, like, you are toxic. That crowd was, like, dead to Kit. I love the music, though. I really hope nothing but the best for Kit. But who's he gonna face? Woo. No. We thought we were getting Zack Ryder, but no. We got Matt Cardona. He's officially part of the SmackDown roster. I was like, hell yeah. The fact that Triple H brought him back as Matt Cardona was awesome. And I know a lot of people are probably confused. They're like, oh, so he's not Zack Ryder, he's Matt Cardona. Not Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona. Yes, folks, this is what he's been running with on the indie scene. And I think it's about goddamn time he finally came back to the WWE. Hopefully this time around, a lot of fruits and gold and all that for Mr. Matt Cardona, but he does get the win over Kit in this match. That was okay. I'm glad that Matt's back though. He's got a shirt, and I definitely want it. I want that Matt Cardona shirt because I do like him. My wife's like, why don't you dust off the old broski headband? I was like, I might do that. Kathy is with Damien, and he's ready to get this feud with Aleister Black over with. He's ready just to get it done. I'm ready for it to be done. To be quite frank and to be quite honest, I'm tired of this story. You had a lot of things here that was pretty cool. Rhea, Damien, versus Aleister Black and Zelina. There was a lot of cool factors there, but the fact that the Zelina and Aleister Black lost, that just kind of just threw me out of the whole thing. Because I was like, you know what? Why in the hell do we keep building Aleister Black? And then we add Zelina where it's like, ooh, yeah. And you don't make them a threat because they lose. So I'm just like, let's just put this to bed. Damien's like, yes, you're right, Kyle. I was like, I know I'm right. Y6, they want Solo. They want the MFTs. They want, so we got a big tag team match in Berlin next week with Wyatt's and Mr. MFT Solo. I don't know what that means. But we get Sami Zayn. I'm like, woo, boom, 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 boom. And he's like, guess what? I want to be a WWE champion. Because I was there in the crowd for Cena's last match. And my little kid was like, Dad, you've never had that championship? And I was like, you little. But Sammy wants to prove something this year. He wants to show that he can be a champion. But lo and behold, whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Mr. Trick Williams, he's here now. And he's on the main roster. SmackDown. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, something fresh, something new. Looking like a superstar, built and jacked, and he's talking that smack. He Trick Willie. And Sammy's like, I got some advice. You got to be humble in this business. And Trick's like, I don't need to be humble because I'm Trick Williams. I was so excited, man. I really enjoyed this confrontation between the two. I can't wait till we get a match. I love Trick Williams. That's all I'm going to say. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Then we go Melo backstage, our new United States champion. He's with Ilya Dragunov. Ilya's like, you gave me a fight, and I would love to run this back, me and you. And Melo's like, you know what? I hear you. And Ilya's like, you can continue with the open challenge? He goes, oh, yeah, because he's got Johnny Gargano next. Then we have Nick with Rey Fenix. Then here comes Trick Willie. He's like, you gonna let Sammy talk like that to me? And Rey Fenix is like, whoa. And he's like, hey, whoa, grown folks talking here. What do you want, Mr. Rey Fenix? This sets up a match between these two, and Trick will have his debut in-ring performance. In-ring performance in Berlin, in Germany. Woohoo! Ah! Ah! All that good stuff. And I believe, didn't he just get married? Or he got engaged to Lash, right? One of the two. But congratulations to Trick Williams to being on the main roster. Then we go into the United States Championship match. Melo versus Johnny Gargano. And man, this is my match of the night. I noticed with the stretch of this show now being 3 hours, they gave a lot of time to the 8 women's tag team match. They gave a lot of time to this match as well. I think it did 3, maybe 4 commercial breaks. I think 3. But yeah, they gave a lot. They're giving a lot of time to the matches now, which is not a bad thing. I think we can definitely showcase this, and I really did enjoy this match. And I'm glad that Melo retained the championship because I think Melo's championship reign is going to be him. Indeed. Then we have Tama Tonga watching. Then Shinsuke gets in his face, a little confrontation. And Shinsuke walks away. Here comes Solo. He's like, you feel good? And he's like, yeah. And Solo's like, let's get out of Buffalo, New York. Let's get out of here. Because we got the Wyatt 6 to deal with next week. We have Aleister Black promo. Moving on. Then Kathy is with Jade because she's that bitch. How, to the audience here, do you think Jade's title reign is good? Because I thought it was going to be. But then you got her tangling with Michin and B-Fab. And this was the only thing that was a saving grace. Jordan Grace, And yeah, I don't know. I think I need more development with Jade's character. You can say you're that bitch all you want, but it's time to go, and Tiffany's reign was awesome in the beginning and it kind of just teeter-tottered. And now it's just okay, well, let's make this championship awesome again. And I hope Jordan Grace is one of the ones that defeats Jade because I do like me Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace versus Jade just seems like awesomeness. Awesome sauce. Then we get a moment backstage. Well, no, we get an Obafemi promo package. I was like, oh, he's coming. The ruler. He's going to face, who's he facing at New Year's Evil? I don't know. But I'm hoping he loses that championship because I want Obafemi in the main roster. Finally. I want Obafemi here, and if he comes to SmackDown, I'm going to be like, yes! Now this has become the show I want to watch. The ruler is here! Obafemi. Yeah. Then we have a backstage with Sammy. He runs into Cody. And Cody's like, you know what? A lot of truth is being spoken tonight. You're after the championship. Randy's after the championship. All right. You know, that's what the burden of the championship does to the champ. People are gunning for him. But I got to ask you one question, Sammy. Have you seen Drew? Because Drew is on his mind. Nick's like, whoa, what's going on? He's like, have you seen Drew? He goes, no. So Cody's like, you know what? Screw this. And he goes to the ring. Whoa! You know, he's mad. He's angry. He's pissed. Takes off the jacket. You know what's going to get crazy when he takes off the jacket? He's calling out Drew, and he has this 3 stages of hell that's going to happen in Berlin. And we haven't had one of those in a while on the main roster. I think if I reported right, the last main roster 3 stages of hell match was Ryback and Cena. Yeah, that was a while. So I think these two are going to do really well with it. After Cody's like going on, he does his Captain America speech. Drew's like, oh my God, the same thing over and over. I just love heel Drew. He's standing by Cody's bus. And he's like, I went in your little home here, looked at all these trinkets and things and stuff you have. And he goes, and I found something. And he has a picture of a young Cody with his daddy, Dusty Rhodes, baby. And Cody gets pissed. He's like, and Drew's like, when you're down there and you meet your dad in hell and, he's wearing a coat because it's going to get cold in hell. I was just like, God damn, Drew, you son of a bitch. Cody gets pissed and he starts running, and he was like, where is he at? And Nick's back there with security. He's like, where is he at? Drew! And Drew's back in the ring. Yeah, he's such a trolly bitch. And he has a trash can now. And he's holding that picture. He's going to set it on fire. Cody comes back out. He's trying. Drew sets the picture on fire. Drops it in the trash can. I just love Drew leaning on the ropes. He's like, come on. You know you want to hit me. You know you want it. You want to hit me. Oh, you can't. Or you're going to lose the championship. I can't wait until this match, man. I think these two are going to tear it up again. I don't know if Drew's going to win. But, we're in WrestleMania season now. January 31st, Royal Rumble. We're on the road to WrestleMania in April. But the 3 stages of hell that Drew told us before he came out to the ring. First is a normal traditional wrestling match. The second is Falls Count Anywhere. And if it's 1-1, they will go fight in a steel cage, brother. Waffle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So 3 stages of hell, a normal traditional wrestling match to a Falls Count Anywhere. And if it's 1-1, they fight in the steel cage. I don't know what to expect. And I know what's cool. Well, what's interesting is that them being in Berlin, I'll get to know about all the results before the show. I can even see the show. Yeah, because they don't air it on Netflix. And then I went over to Netflix. I want to know what's going to happen to the NXT PLEs. Because I do like my NXT. So, where are they going to be? Are they going to be on the Netflix? Are they going to be on Netflix and air there? Or are they going to be on the ESPN app? Because, yes, they are putting up all the pay-per-views for WWE, except for anything that has aired on ESPN. Yeah. Anything that has aired on ESPN, nah. It ain't there. It ain't there at all. So you got to keep the $30 or $20 a month, whatever you're paying for ESPN. I'm going to get rid of Peacock. I'm like, Peacock out of here. Get out of here. Get. And then we have the United States Championship, Chelsea versus Julia. I have not been a fan of Julia's run on the main roster. I enjoyed the hell out of it in NXT. Shot him as quick as possible, along with Stephanie. And Stephanie caught that lightning in the bottle, and she ran with it. Now she's a champ, And Julia had the United States Championship. Okay. I just think Kiana James is she's the problem. I don't like Kiana James with Julia. I get it. She's the mouthpiece. She's Julia's a heel. But going into this match, I'm like, I'm rooting for Chelsea, but Chelsea's a heel too. But we all love Chelsea. Chelsea Green. And I really enjoy what Chelsea tried to do with the championships. You know, she's like, this is my second term, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm the greatest. You know, I love what Chelsea was trying to do because you're trying to get creative. And I love Chelsea because I saw a really great interview with her, with Chris. And, you know, she's just like, he's like, you're always losing. He's like, yeah, but I'm the world's greatest loser. Look at what I've done. I've come to WWE. I'm living my dream. I got fired and I went on the indies and worked really hard and I came back. Just like her husband, Matt Cardona. So, you know, that's the embodiment of, like, working hard to get back to your goal. And Chelsea's down for anything, pretty much. And this match sucked. You know, Julia got the win. I was like, oh. Okay. I was like, all right, well, wasn't really a match. Gave a lot of time to everyone else, but not this one. Just felt a little rushed. Then Julia just gets a win, and no one cared. I want to care because I love Julia, but I'm just like, Chelsea's not champ no more. I felt like Corey Graves. I was like, in devastation. Then we go Kathy. She's with Rio, Alexa, and Charlotte. You know, going on about the tag team championships, and I'm just like, okay, will Rio win? Will Rio beat the Kabuki Warriors? I think so. I think the Rio is going to win. Then we go to Fraxium with Johnny. Axiom wants his mask back. Yeah, he wants his mask back. That's pretty much all this. Now to the main event. Finally. Damian versus Aleister Black in an ambulance match. Yes, this match was awesome. It was fun. There was fireballs. There was tables. There was crazy things. Aleister getting thrown into the windshield. Yeah, it was fun. But at this point, I was like, all right, come on, man. This is the problem with the 3-hour show. and it's the same. It's been the problem when they were doing that for Raw for 3 hours. Because at this point, I'm like, all right, you gave me a shitty match with Chelsea and Julia. Took me completely out. Now I just want to get this over with. There was a really cool spot with Rhea. She was in the ambulance. Zelina was like, scaring Zelina off. So this would be a fair fight. Damian. And I will say this, that I understand being dramatic. I understand that. But when he finally gets Aleister Black after dropping, he didn't even pick him up or actually chokeslam him. He just kind of just pushed him into the table. And I was like, oh, okay. Then he throws him in, and then he closes one door, walks to the side door, slowly closes that door, looks at everybody, does the throat, the thumb to the throat thing, like, then closes that door. And I'm like, and my favorite part, he's like, he slaps the back of the ambulance. He's like, all right, get it out of here. Now that we're about to go to credits, and he's like, get her out of here. So I can do my arrow thing. And hopefully this is done. This is over with. And, Triple H has his guys. And for some reason, he just doesn't pull the trigger on his guys. Like, I bet it took a lot for Aleister Black to come back. He wasn't ever going to be a champion in AEW. He was here for being a great champion in NXT. And he came to the main roster, and they did nothing with him, and that could be results of Vince. But what are we going to do with Aleister Black? There's so many pieces on the chessboard, and him being a Triple H guy, like, I don't know what you're going to do with him. It's like Tommaso Ciampa. The guy's awesome, but his contract's going to come up, and he's just going to leave. And it's just so weird with all of Triple H's guys. He doesn't do anything with them. Well, besides the Kevin Owens and stuff like that, there's variables, but like Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa, and I don't know. We shall see. Johnny, and everything he did in the Black and Gold era, it's like, where's these guys now? Huh? But that was Raw. No, not Raw. That was Happy New Year SmackDown. January 2nd, 2026, Cole and Graves on commentary in Buffalo, New York. Next week in Berlin, Germany. And Raw is going to be on Brooklyn, and it's going to be Stranger Things themed. But yeah, that was SmackDown. Solid 3 out of 5 for the first SmackDown of the new year at the 3-hour mark. Match of the night. Melo versus Johnny Gargano for the United States Championship. Moment of the night. Trick Willie, baby. Goddamn right. It goes all the tricky trick. Shitty moment of the night. Chelsea losing that United States Championship. There we go. New category. Okay. That's it. That's all. Now on to Collision. All right. Thank y'all. Happy New Year. Saying it once more. Then there's going to be a point like in Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's enough. There's enough time. No more Happy New Year. Okay? Okay. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the mom down at Walmart. And I am KMB the Sexy Ninja. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life. Brother.
Rough Rider. We still call it that? Well, what else do you want me to call it? He picked up the win.